longer, and because it's got longer, you now need two hands, so you've got a much longer handle for the two hands. This is called a great sword, which of course is short for great big sword. You want finished? Yeah, perfect. Oh, that was brilliant. It's not switched.
Very thin sliver of it.
Okay, so now we've got Bonte, he's got a slightly later sword, so this one would be, 11:30, 11:50 something. This would now be 13:50. More people are wearing armour now, so the sword has changed. It's got much pointier. We've still got the fuller halfway up the blade, but now we've got a ridge up this end of the blade. It's become more pointy for stabbing in the gaps between the armour, but it's still an excellent slicing weapon. As swords went on, they got pointier and pointier and pointier until they became literally just a stabbing weapon.
Hey.
This falchion, remember, this is a sharp version of the falchion. I showed you during the show, doing the ones where we cut the hands off and we bind them and all of that. This is a sharp one, obviously just still blunt on one side. It's a little bit more weight forward than the sword, so it's a little bit less precise, but the idea that this is just a bludgeoning weapon, it's absolutely not. They cut extremely well, and you've got the power to chop down and do that. They are really efficient weapons. What we've got here is something a bit special. These books have been written by various people, the fight books, and there was a man called George Silver, Elizabethan, and he wrote a book, and he was the last of the medieval style fight master, trained in lots and lots of different weapons, did prize challenges in lots of different weapons, and in his book he said a Welsh hook is probably the best all-round weapon. And everybody's going, well, what does he mean by a Welsh hook? You know, it would have been nice if he'd drawn a picture. And anyway, people have done the research and think it's something like this. But everyone that you see like this, if you go home and look it up online, they're much more spindly. They don't look like real things. They almost look like kind of parade weapons, weapons to carry rather than use. I was on holiday just before the lockdown, January before the lockdown, and we went into a little museum in Hereford, and in the cabinet there is this Welsh hook that's just right. It's, you know, vernacular, it's not high status, and it's right. I made appointments with them, we went up, all these museums are very helpful to everybody. They allowed me to get it out, to weigh it, to measure it, to do all the rest of it, and then I took this to a nice blacksmith and he made it up for me. So this is a Welsh hook, so this is the weapon that George Silver reckons the last of the medieval fight masters said is the best all-round weapon, and Mistress Miranda is getting rather good at this, certainly better than me. And the thing is, with all these weapons, people are pretty horrible to each other. Mankind is endlessly inventive in finding ways to hurt and kill each other, which is not very nice. Most of these early weapons, they came from something else. They came from hunting weapons normally. A bow and arrow was, invented to go hunting with. Spears were invented to go hunting with. Axes were invented to chop down trees. Hammers were invented to hit things. But swords, suddenly it's a new invention that doesn't really have any other purpose than essentially fighting people and killing them. And swords are different. You even know the names of some swords. What's the sword you all know the name of? Excalibur. Blank faces. Excalibur, yes. You all know the name Excalibur. The sword in the stone. And there is a school of thought, we'll never know if it's true, but there's a school of thought that says Excalibur might have been something like this. This is a bronze sword, we made this. And this could be the sword in the stone. If you want to make a bronze sword, what you do is you get a crucible and lots of charcoal, bang lots of air through it, and you melt copper in that crucible. You add a small amount of tin to that copper to make it bronze. When it's ready to go at about 1400 degrees centigrade, you can look down in the top of it, I mean, if you don't mind losing your eyebrow. You can look down in the top of it, and it literally goes like a mirror on the surface. And then you get the mould, 2 pieces of stone with the sword cut out in between, bound together, hole in the top. You pour this white hot molten liquid into there, and seconds later you can open the mould and you can pull out this magically solidified bronze sword. What they don't tell you is like the 25 hours of polishing you need to get it to look like that afterwards. But nevertheless, sorry, it's very pretty, isn't it? And just because it's a Bronze Age sword doesn't mean it's inefficient. This, primarily a stabbing weapon, goes through stuff like a knife through butter. Look at that. No effort at all with just a small... What have you done to it?
Try again.
Go on. Really go for it. Yeah. Right, oh, okay. That's very good. Okay. They work extremely well.